What is going on, people? TC Unleashed back at you with another video. Although today I didn't decide to make a video. I just had a few things on my mind, something that I'm definitely passionate about. And I came out to the laundry. I'm at the laundry right now. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm at the laundry right now. But while in there, putting my clothes in, this thought keeps coming to me. It's on my heart and my mind overnight. I actually was speaking to a friend of mine the other night who also got me to thinking about this topic, which is loyalty. Let's talk about loyalty.
Yeah, you can take the score. We up on the board. And we all living lavish. If I want it, I'ma have it. I make a call. I make a call and swore. Yeah, you can take the score. We up on the board.
And being loyal to a fault. Like more specifically, being loyal to a fault. And like I said, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he had a situation where he put in for vacation time on his job, and they approved it. Long story short, they approved this time, and a week later, they emailed him and asked him to come in so they could allow somebody else to use the same day that they had already approved him for. And this guy is a very, very dedicated and loyal employee. This is just his makeup. This is just his character. He's a loyal gentleman. However, he calls me and he explains it to me, and he's like, TC, I don't really want to go in because I've already made plans with my family for the date that I put my vacation in time for. Now, if you haven't seen my last video, which we speak about nobody cares and giving yourself that pat on the back, specifically giving yourself the pat on the back, that's the name of the video. If you haven't seen that video, go check that out, please, because it directly ties into this video, being loyal to a fault. So again, he says to me, you know, he can't do it. So I asked him, well, did you email them back and, you know, let them know why you put in those days and why you, and he's like, man, TC, I don't want to hit them. I already responded to it, saying that I would do it, but then after he talked to his family members and his wife, so he decided that, you know, he didn't want to go in. But at the same time, because he had already responded to, you know, his supervisor or whatever, that he would come in, he's stuck. And that's where that loyalty to a fault comes in, my man. Like, if you're, I mean, it's okay to be loyal. Like, we throw that word around like nothing. But loyalty is a very serious issue. Like, you have people right now that are so loyal and dedicated to someone else that they're dropping the ball on their own issues. You have people that are dealing with mental issues, emotional issues, because they're constantly thinking and worrying about being loyal to somebody else. Please apply that same energy to yourself. Be loyal to yourself, man. Do not put anybody else's loyalty before your own loyalty. Being loyal to a fault can be so critical, man. Can be so critical. And the main reason why I'm so compassionate about this topic is because you have people that'll recognize how loyal you are, how passionate you are about loyalty, and how dedicated you are. And they'll exploit that. They'll take advantage of your loyalty. And this is why it's so important that you understand your own worth. Like, for instance, this friend of mine that I'm talking about, he could have easily, you know, emailed his employer back explaining to him that he made a mistake and that he's not willing to give up those extra days that he had already been approved for. But because of his loyalty, he didn't want to do that, or he didn't do that. As of yet, I'm not sure if he decided, but I encouraged him to get back to them and let them know he wouldn't be able to do it, because he would always do it, and that's what they know. And I think because they know this, they asked him. knowing that because he's a dedicated and loyal, and this is exactly what I mean when I say people will take advantage of your loyalty. This is being loyal to a fault. If you gotta overthink it, if it worries you to do so, this guy is sitting around and actually called me to decide whether or not he should give up his day with his family or go back to or go back on his days, which he had already been approved for, in order to be loyal to his job. Sometimes you got to be loyal to your family. Sometimes you got to be loyal to you. Sometimes you got to recognize when you're being exploited because of your loyalty. And the worst thing, the bad thing for some of us is we know that we are loyal to a fault. We know this. But because that's your makeup and that's your setup, that's how you built, you feel like you can't do nothing about it because this is just what you do. Man, you got to change that. Get into something that allows that loyalty to, and shame on you guys out there that take advantage of guys' loyalty. Shame on you guys out there that recognize this energy in this person, that recognizes that they're gonna roll with you because of that loyalty. Shame on you for taking advantage of those people, because you out there, you know who you are, you hear me. And for those of you that are just 100% loyal and can't recognize or not willing, because you recognize it, deep within you recognize it, that's why you question yourself before you make the move. This is why my boy called me after he received that email. Right? Because he was unsure. His loyalty won't allow him to just send an email out saying, I'm already booked or I'm already locked in with my family for these days, and this is why I put them in. Loyalty to a fault, guys. You're only hurting yourself at the end of the day. Because you know why? Like I said before, nobody cares. Think about it. Nobody really cares, right? Because if they did, they wouldn't exploit your loyalty. Again, we're talking about loyal to a fault. Everybody shoots that word around. I'm loyal. I'm loyal. Well, people will take advantage of that loyalty, my man. Be loyal to yourself first.